what is Zen, our focus, and how do we live it. Did a little bit on Tuesday with Dogen. I'm going to add a little before we sit. Marilyn will add a little more of the teachings, and we'll go on next week too. Dogen's here. So this is from The Point of Zazen, Zazengi. Who are beginners? Are there any who are not beginners? When do you leave beginner's mind? Know that in the definitive study of the Buddha Dharma, you engage in zazen and endeavor in the way. At the heart of the teaching is a practicing Buddha who does not seek to become a Buddha. As a practicing Buddha does not become a Buddha, the fundamental point is realized. The embodiment of Buddha is not becoming a Buddha. When you break through the snares and cages, the words and concepts, a sitting Buddha does not hinder becoming a Buddha. Thus, right now, you have the ability to enter the realm of the Buddhas and to enter the realm of Mara and the demons throughout the ages. Going forward and backward, you personally have the freedom of overflowing ditches, overflowing valleys, the abundance and intimacy of all that is. Zazen is invariably the intention to become Buddha. And that zazen is invariably becoming Buddha with intention. Intention is prior to becoming a Buddha and after becoming a Buddha. Intention is the very moment of becoming Buddha. Please sit with intention. Sit. Sit. Honoring our deep bodhisattva vow of unwavering commitment to all beings. Just sit. Speakers are giving talks this month on our topic of what is Zen and what is it to live Zen? What is living Zen? But a couple of announcements first is there's a Sangha meeting coming up February 8th, which is at my house, and there's a flyer up there, and it's also on the website. It should be a very exciting time. And last night there was a really lovely, poignant, tender vigil in Courthouse Square in Santa Rosa. And we announced, and I'll be saying more because I'm part of this organizing it, and I think it feels important. We're going to do barrio walks. So we're going to go into neighborhoods. We're going to do it every two weeks on Sundays from 1 to 3 and go into Latino neighborhoods, rotate it, and take whistles and information about safety and legality. And we're going to take muffins, and there's going to be music and art, and as a way to become community, to become solidarity in solidarity with each other. So the first one is February 15th, which is Valentine's Day weekend, which we were told is a very important weekend in the Latino community. So we're all going to go out and celebrate it together. So of course, you guys are welcome. And I think, oh, and chanting, go.
Chanting Sunday 10 a.m. Is that right? My house will have it on Zoom as well, but if you'd like to come in person, that'd be lovely, and I'll give you the address if you haven't been.
Okay, having said all that.
Oh dear. Okay. Well, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Oh, possibly pray that it.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Should
We'll be recording you.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can just go ahead.
All right, it says join audio or later.
Don't touch.
Don't touch it.
Don't touch.
Okay,
Thanks.
okay. So anyway, good morning, everyone.
Morning.
And so I've been asked to talk today about under the umbrella of what is Zen, is the part about teachings. And so we're going to start off with Norman's book, What is Zen?
Norman and Sue.
Norman and Sue Moon, yes, got together and wrote this book. And I can get organized here. So in the chapter about teachings, I was really relieved to see that S, because that teaching was a little broad. Teachings is a little more focused. All right. So Norman starts out by saying Zen is about dynamic spiritual experience, not scripture knowledge. So he talks about how many typical Chinese Zen stories involve scholars who throw away their books when they finally see personally the truth that Zen proposes to show them through dynamic spiritual experiences. And then I got stuck on the word dynamic. What does that mean exactly as it applies to Zen? Well, I looked up the word dynamic in the dictionary, and it means characterized by constant change, activity, or progress. It describes something energetic, forceful, and full of new ideas. Therefore, dynamic spiritual experiences are those experiences that are never static and let us be open to new ideas. And I thought about how when we study these Zen koans or the precepts, that there's nothing ever static. Nothing, what am I trying to say? Is that we always need to be open and flexible to and new ways of looking at things. And that's part of what we do in practice. So he goes on to say, we all have minds that are full of thoughts and theories, mostly unconscious, unexamined, and deeply conditioned. Studying Zen teachings is a way of challenging and examining those thoughts and theories and bringing them into line with one's actual experiences. And, bringing them into line with one's actual experiences of the practice on the cushion and in living. So our understanding of Zen texts goes beyond what the words mean. They may require you to be able to see, feel, and live the meaning behind the words, that you not be stuck on the words. There's that dynamism there. To not be stuck on the words themselves, but see that the experiences of words actually goes beyond words. To me, that's what he means by dynamic spiritual experiences. What goes beyond the words? Okay, and we've all had experiences with that in our studies. So, according to Norman, the most important teaching is Dogen's teaching of continuous practice, and its associated teaching that practice and enlightenment are one. That means we practice to express the enlightenment that is already there as our human birthright. And so we appreciate and see the depth in the practice that we do every day. All our daily activity is practice that goes on and on, even past our own lifespan. Think about that. All our daily activity is practice that goes on and on. What a thought that is. And I'll talk more about that in a minute. Norman goes on to say that the next important teaching is of suchness, or just this, which means being fully and immediately present with this moment of your life. This is the whole of the teachings and the whole point of all we do in practice. To recognize that there is nothing but this one precious moment, and that it includes past and future and the whole of reality. This reminds me of the famous Zen saying about chop wood, carry water. You've all heard this before, I'm sure. It means that the fundamental, often mundane tasks of life remain the same, whether you are seeking enlightenment or have achieved it. The key difference is the way you approach them, transforming everyday chores into mindful practices by being fully present, not just going through the motions. It signifies finding meaning in the ordinary, continuous growth, and that true spiritual realization isn't about escaping life, but engaging with it deeply, moment by moment. The phrase emphasizes that fulfillment comes from the quality of your attention to the present moment, not from achieving some grand external outcome. And when I was reading about this, I was thinking about this thing I used to do, and I still do sometimes. It's the washing dishes meditation. And so every day I wash dishes before I go to bed, so that when I wake up in the morning, I'll have a nice clean kitchen. To me, that makes me happy. But at the same time, while I'm washing the dishes, I feel the temperature of the hot water on my arthritic hands, and that feels wonderful. I can smell the nice scent of the soap, and I appreciate that I have water. I can turn this knob over here and water comes out into the sink. How lucky am I to have that? How lucky am I, and how wonderful it is to be able to have hot water that comes out when I turn a knob. Do you know how wonderful and rare that is in the world? That to me is a kind of meditation and a deep appreciation just in that one moment of time to have all those things available and to have nice clean dishes ready for the next day. To me, that is just, I can't express it. It goes beyond words. It's a wonderful, wonderful feeling just to wash dishes. Anyway. So what if we opened, and what if when we opened our mouth to speak, and every thought in our mind and every action that we performed with that understanding in mind, what would that do to the way we live? What would it do to so many of the problems we think we have that seem so burdensome? Would they be burdensome if we knew that? Wouldn't it be impossible not to look at every living thing as if that living thing were not your close relative, your close friend, who you had a heart of caring for, because it was just like you in the same predicament that you're in? How are you going to have an enemy who is as close to you as your own heartbeat? Okay. So in the next book, When You Greet Me, I Bow, Norman talks about the example of the monk who went to stay at Zhao Zhou's temple and sought sage advice from him. Zhao Zhou just told the monk to wash your bowls. He wanted to bring the monk back to the immediate present. Just be present with the actual stuff of your ordinary, everyday life. And sometime in the past, I recall reading some Zen text many years ago. When you eat, just eat. When you cook, just cook. When you walk, just walk. Just be present with the actual stuff of your everyday life. And this is how we engage with life and with the holiness and the gift of this life. Just be present. So our Soto Zen emphasizes careful attention to detail. Zhao Zhou instructed monks to be careful of their bowls, robes, and shoes, not as a series of unfortunate chores, but as an opportunity to realize the deepest truths of their tradition. The monks chop wood, fetch water, clean floors, rake leaves as daily work. And if you've ever been in a session, this is exactly what we do too, all right, as monks. None of these jobs differs from sutra chanting or meditation. All is physical. All is immediate. All the stuff of enlightenment. Meaning comes not so much from what you understand as from the way you do whatever it is you're doing. These tasks teach the practitioner that the manner in which something is accomplished is just as important as the result, if not more so. These traditional tasks are seen as holy, to be undertaken with full respect and honor. Engaging with the present moment is one of the best ways to honor our aliveness. What a joy it is to be alive at this moment. What a mystery this life force is. To me, that's the greatest mystery of all, this life force. I was talking to Chris the other day in Doksan about this, and I expressed to her what a mystery this life force is, because it's here one moment and then gone the next when we pass from this world. What is this thing, this force that one moment we're alive and breathing, engaging and eating and living our lives, and the next moment it's gone? Where does it go? What is it? And to me, that is the greatest mystery of all time. And because of that great, great mystery, we should honor and value it as best we can in our everyday living. Anyway, let's continue with Norma. Let's see. Okay, so there's a postcard on my altar that says, "Awake, each one awake. Don't waste this life." And I started thinking about what the word waste meant, because it was a subject of Doksan that I discussed with Chris. I confess that I felt guilty about wasting time at home doing puzzles, watching videos, blah, blah, blah. I'm just wasting time, I told her. I feel like I should be doing something else. She replied that when we sit zazen, we are doing nothing. So what's all the fuss about? That was a kind of wake-up call. And while I was focusing on the word waste, I remembered a word in Japanese, mottainai, that means don't waste it, or what a waste of time that something was. And then I discovered there's a deeper context that dovetails with our Buddhist practice. The term mottainai goes beyond just wasting something. It could also mean something that is too good, or something we are unworthy of, or something that we do not deserve. It means being fully and immediately present with this moment of your life, while humbling ourselves to all the mysteries that surround us. In these definitions, there's a feeling of humility and respect towards the person or object or situation, also known as all dharmas. In our practice, we turn our attention toward honoring and valuing all dharmas. Everything has intrinsic value. As the monks in Japan practice in their monasteries, they even see value in an old wooden spoon by making the best use of it, washing it carefully and thoroughly, and making sure it lasts as long as possible. Can you imagine living a life where all things, or all dharmas, are valued and honored? Think about what that would mean to our environment, our politics, or just our way of living. Then next, Norman talks about these teachings, how they relate to compassion and connection. In Zen, he says, these teachings run deep. They are saying more than be nice, kind, and decent. They are saying that if you really see your life as it is, you'll see that it's nothing but connection, compassion, and love. That's all there really is. To be kind is more than a positive character trait that one ought to develop. It's the natural consequence of a full and profound engagement with life. I can imagine the net of Indra and how each of us individually and collectively is the net of Indra. You are all the net of Indra. We together collectively and individually are shining jewels on that net. And that when one jewel shines brightly, it illuminates all other jewels. Oh, I love that. Gives me tingles. So, the practice of kindness can be best expressed in the practice of the 6 paramitas: generosity, ethical conduct, energy, patience, meditation, and wisdom. Ultimately, they lead to the understanding that we are all living and dying together. There is no other way to live but to feel for one another and to do what we can to help. And the ways we can help are unlimited. And in closing, we got lots of time. I just wanted to share this, it's a poem. It didn't have an attribute, but it really hit home with me. So I wanted to talk to you about it now. He says, may I surrender to the now. May I accept where I am on my journey. May I perceive the blessings around me instead of my limitations. May I enjoy the life I've been given. May I surrender to this moment, knowing that every passing second is a precious and unique gift. And lastly, there's something I wanted to share with you again. It's from an earlier Dharma talk. And in light of all this going on in the world, this is something else from Norman. He says, why we need to sit Zazen now more than ever. He says, our basic attitude in living is our basic stance or posture. The way we hold ourselves and the way we hold the variety of emotions and actions that pass through us in a lifetime. You could say it's an orientation toward life. So when you think of it this way, you begin to appreciate why, for Dogen, Zazen is so important. He doesn't see it as a technique or as an exercise, or even as religious observance. Zazen is literally an attitude. Zazen expresses human dignity and endurance. Just like those monks that are walking through freezing cold weather out in North Carolina right now into Virginia. Talk about endurance and human dignity. That just really hits home for me. It expresses composure and patience. It expresses a full acceptance of whatever comes. So it's not a discipline. It's not something external or imposed. It's an expression of our deepest human aspiration. It is a gesture of the heart. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you. So,
Can I, before, are you going to give question or something?
but
So-
will you please?
Yeah, I was going to just, one, that was a really lovely talk. Thank you.
Oh,
I just wanted to share my experience of sitting here. I shared on Tuesday, someone said to me he was having a really hard time, and he said all of a sudden a phrase from Dogen came forward for him, and it was like a warm hug. And it's so surprised him, and it's such a delight because we so often think Dogen is I mean, don't always. The first thing you think of about Dogen is not a warm hug, at least in my experience. But it was just right there, and I was sitting here listening to you, and I was having the multiple experiences, three of which I will describe, but I mean infinite experiences. Is one, just sitting with when I just sat down, just an incredible sorrow in my body, just how deep it is, which I'm not touching most of the time because I'm running over, I'm doing 100 million things. And then I was feeling the light come in and I felt like a cat in the sun. And then I heard Marilyn's words and the teachings touching me. And the phrase, Suzuki Roshi phrase is, it's like walking in a light rain and you just gradually get wet all the way through. And I had that feeling of a hug of what he was describing, of the sitting down in the center of it's all true, it's all not true. My heart is breaking. The sun is shining on me, and we're here in Sangha practicing and have access to the Dharma. I just, anyway, I just gratitude. And most of us in the world don't have the opportunity to do this. So no wonder why I have my own fair share of scrambled and confused and acting out and missing. We were talking about on Tuesday, Mark Lesser taught us during the Wildland Firefighter Retreat. We all kept laughing as periodically we'd just all go, "I failed!" And then we'd laugh. And then we'd go on about our business. And we'd go, "Oh, I failed!" Because I was feeling that too, it's like you just can't get it. But to just sit upright and present and be touched by the teachings is like, wow. Anyway, that was an expression of gratitude. Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, no, thank you, Chris. So we got some time. How about 2 groups of 4? Since we've got all this time, what came up for you during all this? And see where that takes you. Thank you.
And I'll put people on screen in groups too.
Excuse me.
You've got to clean it.